Hi, my name is Derek Su, Executive Coding Officer for KITE, and welcome back to the free KITE Python course. Here on KITE, we are on a mission to spread knowledge of new technologies across the world. If you are interested in joining our mission, see the links below. Yesterday, we discussed what iterations are and what are while loops. Today, we're going to go over a new iteration, for loops. So sometimes, we want to loop through a set of things such as a list of words, lines in a file, or a list of numbers. To do this, we can construct a definite loop using a for statement. As we discussed before, a while loop continues until a condition becomes false, whereas this time a for loop will loop through a set number of items, running through as many iterations as number of items. So it's going to run for a predefined number of times. So let's look at this example. So here we have a list called friends, and this variable friends contains 3 items, Joseph, Glenn, and Sally. And now here we can see a for loop for friend and friends, which basically is saying for each item in this variable called friends, I want to print Happy New Year and then the friend itself. And then after that for loop finishes, I'm going to print done. So try to predict what the output of this program will be. And I'll show you in just a moment using the text editor. So as you can see here, I've recreated the example in the slide. So let's see what happens when you click run. So we can see that it printed Happy New Year for each of the friend in the list, and then it printed a singular done afterwards. So let's take a look at how this happened. So first, we obviously defined our list up here, but now once we get to the for loop, we're saying I want to repeat this for however many items there are in this list called friends. And if you look here, the friends has 3 items, so this loop is going to iterate 3 times. So for the first iteration, friend is Joseph because that is the first friend. And now it'll run whatever inside. Print Happy New Year, friend. And friend right now contains Joseph because it is the first iteration. So that's why we get Happy New Year, Joseph. And once that ends, we go back to the beginning, where now this is the second iteration. So friend is now Glenn. And then now we print Happy New Year, Glenn. And of course, now the third iteration, friend becomes Sally because Sally is the third item. And it's going to print Happy New Year, Sally. And since that is the last item in the list, the for loop ends, and then we finally print done. So here we can see the same example as we had last time. And note that something else that I did not mention yet is that the word friend here is called the iteration variable and doesn't necessarily have to correspond in any way to the name of the list, and it can be replaced with anything. The iteration variable changes with every new iteration, and is simply just a variable in order to store each item. So let's actually take a look at another example in the text editor. So here first, I'm just going to create a new variable, or a new list actually, called fruits. I'm just going to list some fruits. Let's say I have an apple, I have a banana, and a cherry, and let's say a watermelon. And now I'm going to print here just types of fruits. And I'm going to loop through the list for fruit and fruits. And I'm just going to print the fruit. So here, what should happen is that I made a typo. I did not make a typo. What should happen is that it'll print types of fruits, and then it'll go through this list of fruits and print each one of these items, which you should see right here. But note that since fruit is a variable that we've declared right here, we declare this variable right here, and all it does is just contain each individual item in fruits. It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to this name. It could be named anything you want. And although it usually does correspond to this name in some sort of logical way, that's mainly just so that it's easier to read from the programmer's point of view. But theoretically, you can make this whatever you want. So we can even make it called Bob for Bob and fruits. We just have to make sure that it corresponds down here too. We have to make sure that these two match. So now we run it, it should be the exact same thing. Thank you for listening to today's Python lecture about for loops. If you have any questions, join our Discord server, which is linked below. There you will have complete access to forums where KITE representatives can answer questions about concerns or confusions on exercises. Have a great rest of your day.